Now, the card on the bottom of the deck right now is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. In the upright, the Queen of Pentacles is the manager type. Could be female, but not necessarily. That's just kind of the energy we see here. But you'll notice that she's looking down at the big, huge coin. And she's kind of studying that or observing that. The Queen of Pentacles, that's a person who is in charge of her money, her life, her environment. She's queen of her castle. She is somebody who is really good with money and money management. She can be an earth sign person, like a Virgo, a Taurus. I always forget one every time I do these, the different signs. But Virgo or Taurus or whatever the other earth sign is. Capricorn, sorry. But this person is in the reverse. So it may be that some of you are having rough financial situations. Maybe you're having a falling out with somebody. Maybe your environment is shaken up for some reason. Sometimes that can happen when we share housing with somebody that we're involved with. But let's take a look at some of the other cards, see what's going on in that situation. Get a better handle on it. The card that's covering you right now is the Hanged Man card. And the Hanged Man really has to do with kind of taking some time out, doing some really, really deep meditation, trying to understand something from a different perspective, trying to go within. You'll notice that this person has a halo here. This is really a spiritual experience that they're doing. They're not suffering. They're simply trying to, I want to say meditate, but on a deeper level, or deeper level meditation, to be able to clarify and understand what it is that they're going through, right? And to know what their next best bet is for a move. Now, this influence here of the Hanged Man is crossed by the moon in reverse. Now, in the upright, the moon has to do with that fight that we have between our domesticated self and our wild self, as witnessed by the domesticated dog and the wild dog. This can represent a Cancer, a Pisces, a Scorpio person. Could be yourself in a way. Sometimes people have mental health battles and they're trying to deal with that. In the reverse, however, oftentimes the moon can mean clarity. Right? Clarity. Something that's been hidden or obstructed from us is coming into clarity. And this is in part the Hanged Man. I feel like a lot of you will be going into this Hanged Man energy even more deeply when something that has been hidden from you comes to light. What the nature of that is, I don't really know at this point, but we'll keep reading on and see what we can do. But definitely there's some strong energy with that. And I am noticing, just as I overview your cards, you've got 4 different major arcana cards. And the major arcana cards have to do with spiritual journey. So you guys are going through something right now. You're really on a deep spiritual lesson, or the path towards a deep spiritual lesson. But something's happened. There's fate involved here. We're seeing this in the card that's beneath you, the Wheel of Fortune. I'm kind of going out of order a little bit with the cards, but that's okay. Fate has taken a hand. Something's jumping off for you. Something is jumping off for you, but it's meant to happen. It's meant to be. This thing is meant to be. Something that was happening that was deceiving you has come to light. You're trying to figure out what to do in that situation, but fate has brought you to this position because you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be here. Maybe it's about setting a boundary with somebody that's been a really tough boundary. Maybe it's in your relationship. Maybe it's at your workplace. The card that's crowning you, what you're hoping will come to pass, what may come to pass, what's on your mind, if you will. There's some sort of battle that you've been going through, and you really want to have victory over your enemies. You'll notice that in this card, your enemies have laid down their sword, and you have them at this time. But they're walking away in defeat, but yet they still are looking to regroup. These guys will probably be back. They need more armaments, a better battle plan. They may come back. We'll get into that. There's some more struggle cards that are indicated up here, but we'll just kind of read them through and then sort of talk you through. We already kind of touched on the Wheel of Fortune, something that's meant to happen. Right? But you'll notice that there's some heavenly influence up here. There's a lot of winged creatures up here. A lot of winged creatures. But this was really definitely meant to happen. Fate is playing a hand in whatever's occurring. for you. In your past tense, the Magician, this could be a Gemini possibly, although all the different symbols are represented. We've got the earth, we've got the water, we've got the swords for air, we've got the wands for fire. This is a person. We've also got the infinity symbol over here. And we've got all kinds of things in bloom. We've got white, we've got red, purity, but also blood and passion kind of coming together to mesh in this person. This is a person who manifests. His hands are indicating as above, so below. This is a person who understands how to make things happen in the universe, how to manipulate things in his or her environment. Manipulation doesn't necessarily have to be in a bad way. We manipulate a doorknob. The root of the word manipulate is the same as the root of the word in Latin for hands. I don't know that word, but I know in Spanish, la mano means the hand. But manipulation doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but it could be. And given that the card crossing you is the moon card, which indicates deception and so forth, but you're coming out of deception, there's clarity here. Either you have been manifesting something in your life, really making things powerful happen for you, but it could be that somebody else has been manipulating you in your world, and you're coming to understand that and its role in your life. And because you're coming out of this, you're coming into the space of clarity. That's where you really kind of need to regroup and get your sense about you. Because this has been some kind of a battle. You're thinking about ending the battle, stopping the battle, not having to deal with that. This was meant to happen, though. Whatever you're dealing with, this has been the next step on your personal journey. So know that you have had a lot of guidance along your way. I do mean spiritual guidance as well, not just your earth friends, but your spirit guides and helpers are really on this with you. As Pisceans, you're probably quite aware of them because you tend to be a very, very intuitive sign. Before you, the Seven of Cups, a lot of options, but this is in the reverse, so you've made some kind of a choice or are going to be making some choice. And again, this has to do with the reflection that you do in here. Be patient and give yourself enough time to deal with that and to know really what your best steps are. Sometimes we want peace, but we have to be willing to fight for it as well. And that's another piece of this card that we don't really see. This is about the end of the fight, but there is a place where there is time for fighting. It is going to happen, though. We have another card coming up here, your environment, which is saying that all this battle that has been occurring, these squabbles, people not cooperating, this negative environment you've been in is coming to an end in your environment. Travel, moving on. Your travel plans may be delayed or they might not have to even happen depending on what goes on next. Right? But again, I'm getting kind of ahead of myself a little bit. Not trying to be frustrating like that. But, whatever this is, you've made some kind of a choice. You're going to be, this is in your future, but you're about to make, or it may take a little bit of time to get here, but, not crazy long. Again, we're looking at about a 16-day span. This sense of motion, this would be completely and totally moving on. That's not really in the position that you're in right now. This is a delay of travel, a delay of movement, which is consistent with our hangman energy over here. It may be the case that you really do need to travel and to move on. There's going to be some kind of a tough choice. This may simply be a delay, but you'll know better when you've had time to get inside your own head and say, look, I know what time it is now, and I'm not going to be dealing with it. If this person's a manipulative, deceitful person for you, somebody you've been having all kinds of squabbles and struggles with, somebody there's been a lot of battles and struggles, and you're trying to come out of this frame, you are right in thinking that these squabbles will be ending. But not necessarily because that person has changed. Because again, you know what time it is now. If they've been deceitful, you know this. But you are meant to find it out. Because sometimes sticking up for ourselves, putting our own best interests first, is our life lesson. I really feel like humans are brought here on this earth, and we're tasked mainly with the job of trying to learn how to love other people and how to learn to love ourselves. And most of us, we're either here to learn to love ourselves or we're here to learn to love other people. Most of us may be somewhere in a continuum between those two things. But some people give, and they never demand anything in return. And sometimes we absolutely have to. Sometimes we have to stand our ground and say, that's not good enough. And I'm not going to live with that. And you can do what you want. I wish you no harm or no ill will. But I know what I want, and that's not it. I'm making a choice. I'm making a choice. I'm not sitting here and floating on my different dreams and what I hope that they got to be. I've got to be in my reality. I need to know what reality is. I need clarity, not deception, not foolishness from somebody who's a master manipulator. I don't need that horse shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear in these videos. Up here. Okay. And then the hopes and fears card. Now, in this position here, you'll notice this person's blindfolded, meaning they're not seeing everything. They're struggling to make that kind of a decision. What's going on here? What do I need to do? You know, what are my choices? But in this, the person has made the choice. Again, this kind of mirrors this idea that you've made a choice in here. You will be making that choice, even though you fear it. And that's where you yourself take the energy of the magician and you make it happen in a positive way. No deception, no bullshit, no none of that. Just by being honest and being righteous in walking in your own truth and saying, I can do this anyway. I don't have to rely on other people to provide for me what it is that I think that I want. I need to make my choices, and even if it's uncomfortable, I can do it. You know, when they talk about people being courageous and people being brave, you know, it's not that we're courageous because we do something that we feel completely comfortable with. Our courage comes from doing something even when we don't want to, even when we feel very, very uncomfortable in doing that. That's why we have something to feel proud of. If it were easy to do all of this, we'd have nothing to feel proud of ourselves for. And I don't mean prideful in a boastful, vain, egocentric way. I simply mean, you know what? This was a tough journey for me to do, and it needed to happen. It needed to happen. I needed to learn how to step forward, be my best friend in this, and say, whatever this is, work-related, relationship-related, I don't have to put up with this or tolerate that. I can make a choice even though I fear it. If it were easy, everyone could do it, but it's not. These are the very things that sculpt us into the people that we need to become, the people that we admire the most and that we want to become. And remember that the word courage has its origin in the same word that means heart. It's most obvious if you look at the French word cœur. But we also see it in corps, like Marine Corps. It really speaks to heart. C-O-R-P-S is corps for heart. The final outcome card in this spread here is the Emperor card in reverse. For some of you, this could be about letting go of somebody that you really thought you were going to build your empire with. That man that you thought, that person, that adult, that human. It could be a woman, of course. But that person that you thought, this is somebody that I was going to have that perfect or beautiful relationship with. You know, maybe I just have to let this situation go. And then maybe you're just coming out of it and recognizing even. Maybe you're not letting the person go, but you simply realize that I'm in the clear here. I understand what's going on. This guy here has not been doing me right. He's been a master manipulator. But I'm on to him. And now it's really about making my decision about what I really do want to do here. Just because somebody's been bad to you doesn't mean that you have to leave the situation. But of course, if there's addiction, abuse, abandonment, those are your three big warning signs that you seriously may need to seek some counseling if this person's not being kind to you or not being right with you, or if you need some kind of deeper level analysis to kind of get in there and see what's going on. Maybe this person has had some mental illness and is not treating you justly or fairly, but it does seem that you will know what to do and you will have a choice that you are able to make, that this is some sort of a fate. I want to see this Emperor in the upright position for you. This guy would be the ideal husband, father, co-parent. Again, this could be wife or mother, whatever, in a same-sex situation or opposite, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's about the energy here, right? This person could be an Aries, could be a Taurus, but this person would be the ideal person to have for your mate. But he's not. He's reversed. which suggests to me that this may be the person that was deceiving you. He looked really good. He looked like the ideal, but he was manipulating and pulling a bunch of bull. And this could be where your struggle is coming from. But this, you were meant to see it. You were meant to know it. We don't have to fight. We really don't have to fight. If I want monogamy and my partner wants multiple partners and we're honest about that, we may just have to agree to disagree and say, you know something, I got to move on because I know what I want. We cannot build a foundation with a person if we have opposite intentions and they're irreconcilable differences. We just can't make that work. Then again, if there's been a rough dynamic in this relationship, and I don't necessarily mean physically rough or anything, but if there's been that kind of idea where you feel like you're at battle with your partner, but you're seeing this is coming out, seeking maybe couples counseling, seeking some kind of help, not moving out. You're not moving out at this time, whatever the situation is. You're seeing yourself as the queen in this. I mean, these two could be a good match. Ideally, you want the empress for the emperor, but whatever. He's reversed and so is she. Part of this is about if you leave this person, this man or this other person, your financial stability may be topsy-turvy. You may experience some fear about your financial stability. But you probably, with this emperor, he's the cheater. He's the guy that has babies with other people. He may be doing you wrong. In this situation, you're in the reverse here too. I really think that this Queen of Pentacles may represent you. The next card in the deck, I can't even get over it almost. Oh my gosh, I'm going to pull the next one too. Look at this. The Hierophant in reverse. This is a card that represents marriage. Look at it. Look at it. Right? This guy here at the top, he should be the priest marrying these two. But they're upside down. They're reversed. And so is he. Because this whole situation is not going off. This is a marriage that's ending. This looks like divorce to me. And then the next card here, for extra clarity, right? Oh my gosh, I just saw the one below it. This is the Eight of Cups. This is about you've invested enough emotional energy. There's only 10 cards in that suit. Well, I mean, not counting court cards, but, you know, seriously, it's like it's the Ace through the 10 of Cups. You're already to the 8. You've invested a lot emotionally. Look at this person walking on. Because you have to leave this emperor guy behind. He's not good for you. Again, don't break up your entire life on the basis of this one reading. I don't want to hear that. But think for yourself, right? Think for yourself. You'll know if the situation resonates for you. Again, you don't have to make any kind of hasty decisions. You've got this hangman energy here. Do your best thinking. Seek therapy. Talk to somebody who can help you sort out and clarify these issues. And then the card beneath that, again, look at this. It's another wedding. It's a wedding bower in the reverse. That's not what we want to see. We want this in the upright. We want all of these cards in the upright here. The Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor, right? The Hierophant, the Eight of Cups. We want that to be in the reverse. Well, maybe not, because that would mean that you weren't leaving something you ought. But all of these cards are supporting the fact that it really, oh, geez. Next, we got the Star card. Oh, boy. I'm just going to keep pulling these cards. I can't get over it. So we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, the Emperor in reverse. We got the Star in reverse. The Star would be a soulmate, destiny, fate. This is the relationship that you want. This is not. This is a karmic relationship in the reverse like that. The Star indicates a karmic relationship that you've been caught up with. And this is the last one I'll pull here. This is the Devil. The Devil means willing submission to something that is not in your own best interest. It could be addiction to substances, addiction to a relationship. Oh yeah, we can have relationship addiction. They call that a process addiction. We can be addicted to food, to gambling, to sex, to drugs, to alcohol. This is about surrendering your free will to something that is not in your own best interest. Take a look at this card right here. Look at these individuals. They represent the polarity in a union, potentially, right? But look, either one of them could slip these chains right off over their head at any moment in time, but they choose not to do it. This is codependency. Unhealthy. Leave it. Karmic relationship. But remember, karmic relationships are about our soul journey, purpose, and fulfillment. Karmic relationships teach us our next level of growth. When you walk away, when you Eight of Cups this person, that's a toxic relationship for you. When you Eight of Cups this situation, you're actually opening the door so that your Four of Wands situation can come in, so that your soulmate can come in, the real person for you, the best fit for you. We have to learn these things. It's kind of like, in those fairy tales when the princess has to kiss a bunch of frogs before she can find the prince. We just usually only see the one that turns into the prince because, who wants to watch a girl kissing a bunch of toads? It's kind of nasty, I suppose. It's a metaphor for the ugliness of the phallus if you get into Bruno Bettelheim and the uses of enchantment and all that kind of thing. But anyway, beyond the point, willing submission to something that is not in your own best interest. This person who's cheating, he's lying, he's running game. Karmic relationship. Clarity. You know what time it is. You found something. You found the lipstick shirt or the lipstick on the shirt. You saw the phone. You saw the messages on the phone from that person blowing it up.